Hello and welcome back to Look Movie Recaps. Today, we are going to recap a 1992 movie titled Unforgiven. Please be advised that there might be spoilers ahead. In the opening scene, we are introduced to William Money, a widower who has two small children. He is a former deadly gunslinger, but after marrying, he abandoned gunfighting, drinking, and most other vices. His wife died of smallpox in 1878, but he continues to work with his children on their hog farm and strives to be the man his late wife would have wanted him to be. It's currently 1880. Little Bill Daggett, the sheriff of Big Whisky, rules the town with arbitrary authority. Davy and Mike, two cowboys on leave, are at Skinny Dubois' brothel. One of the ladies, Delilah, makes an offhand remark that Mike takes as an insult, so he strikes her with a knife, scarring her face. Skinny and Strawberry Alice, the de facto madam, are holding them until Little Bill arrives. The women want Davy and Mike to be executed, but Little Bill decides that since they did not murder Delilah, they should be horsewhipped instead. However, Skinny is more concerned about the potential loss of revenue as a result of Delilah's ugliness, so Little Bill decrees that instead of getting horsewhipped, the men must give Skinny some horses. This enrages the women even more, so they meet privately and pool their wealth to offer a reward to anyone who kills the two perpetrators. The scene shifts to William at his farm, where he is tending to some sick hogs. It quickly becomes evident that he is not a skilled hog farmer, as he constantly falls in the mud while attempting to get a hog. In the midst of this, he receives a visitor, a young man known as the Schofield Kid, who knows William by reputation and wants his assistance in killing Davy and Mike in exchange for half of the reward money. William demonstrates his lack of interest since he no longer does the activities he used to do after marrying his late wife. But once the kid leaves, William returns to his clumsy attempts at hog farming and begins to have second thoughts. He places a can on a tree stump and fires his pistol at it, missing. Finally, he goes inside the house, grabs his shotgun, and blows the can away with the first shot. Back at Big Whisky, Davy and Mike arrive with the horses for Skinny. Women throw stones and horse excrement at them. While Mike has never shown any remorse, Davy seems to truly regret what happened to Delilah. Before offering it to Delilah, he clearly tells Skinny that one of the horses is not for him. The women just throw more manure. William resolves to call his former colleague, Ned Logan, because he realizes he will need help finding the missing cowboys. He says goodbye to his children and tells them to contact Ned's common-law wife, Sally Two Trees, if they need anything. After several clumsy and futile efforts to mount his horse, he eventually succeeds and rides to Ned's. Evidently realizing that whatever William has in mind won't end well, Sally simply stares at him without saying anything the entire time he's around. William tells Ned about his expedition and the job offer, and Ned agrees to join him. During all this, Sally stays speechless and gives William an evil look. However, as it stands, the two guys ride off in pursuit of the kid. They eventually catch him and discover that he is extremely nearsighted, unable to see targets more than 50 yards away. We are introduced to Bob English while on a train with his biographer, Beecham. Bob is lecturing his fellow passengers on the benefits of monarchy over democracy despite the assassination of the Russian Tsar earlier that same year. He and Beecham arrive at Big Whisky, where Little Bill discovers him concealing a revolver. He brutally beats and punches Bob until he is nearly unconscious, then puts him and Beecham in jail. At the jail, Little Bill refutes several of the stories Bob has told Beecham about his escapades. Beecham soon leaves his cell and works as Little Bill's biographer rather than Bob's. As they approach town, William and his companions watch the train carrying English Bob pass by. A torrential downpour commences, and by the time William's party arrives, William has a fever. When Ned and the kid arrive at the saloon, they head upstairs to hire the prostitutes, but William has stopped doing that and stays downstairs. Little Bill perceives William as an out-of-towner seeking the reward money, and he responds by beating and kicking him in the same manner he did to English Bob. He then throws William out into the street and sends his deputies upstairs to pursue Ned and the kid. Ned and the kid escape through a window, get William onto his horse, and ride out of town. Ned nurses William back to health with the assistance of some prostitutes. By the time William regains his health, the rain has ceased, but there is still snow on the ground. The snow has melted in the following scene, indicating that some time has passed since William's associates scouted out their targets. Davy appears in the following scene with a bunch of cowboys chasing a calf. A shot rings out, striking Davy's horse, which collapses, breaking the man's leg and pinning him to the ground. Ned fired the shot, but he couldn't bring himself to kill the man. Since the kid couldn't see very far, William fires several shots until he finally hits him. Davy complains of thirst while dying. William asks the other cowboys to offer Davy a drink and agrees not to shoot them. They do, and William stays true to his word. When Ned decides he has had enough of killing and leaves his colleagues to return home, Little Bill's soldiers apprehend him and grill him. Little Bill also assigns men to protect Mike. William and the kid remain outside the house where Mike and his men are locked up. When Mike comes out to use the outhouse, the kid waits until he finishes before shooting him. However, the kid struggles to come to terms with the fact that he has actually killed someone. He has previously boasted of having killed 5 men but now reveals that this was his first and vows to never kill again, telling William, "It don't seem real." William gets him to drink whiskey, but it doesn't help. One of the prostitutes delivers the reward money and reveals that Ned was captured and killed by Little Bill. With his best friend killed, William vows to avenge his death. William sends the kid home with the reward money, instructing him to leave his and Ned's half with his children and spend the remainder to purchase some decent spectacles. He then rides to town, drinking whiskey from a bottle along the way. Outside the saloon, he sees Ned's body erect in an open casket with a placard reading, "This is what happens to assassins in this town." William enters the saloon where the majority of the townspeople have gathered. He inquires as to who owns the place, and when Skinny identifies himself, William orders the people nearby to leave before shooting him. Little Bill labels him a coward for shooting an unarmed man, but William responds that he should have armed himself. He then instructs individuals near Little Bill to move away. His shotgun misfires, but he throws it at Little Bill, draws his pistol, shoots him, and shoots many other men who try to draw firearms on him. Some of them are shot before William kills them, but none of them injure him. He then orders everyone who does not want to be slain to leave, and those who are able to do so comply. He goes to the bar and pours himself more whiskey. Beecham was unable to flee because a corpse was on top of him. William instructs him to hand over a nearby gun, which he then proceeds to load. Beecham attempts to engage him in conversation about gunfighting, but William's answer scares him away as well. Little Bill is still alive, but William hears him cock his pistol and steps on his hand before he can fire a shot. As William points his shotgun at Little Bill, the latter pleads that he does not deserve it. William responds, "Deserves got nothing to do with it." Little Bill then adds, "I'll see you in hell, William Money." William merely responds, "Yeah," and shoots him as he proceeds to the saloon door. One of the men he earlier shot moans in pain, so he shoots him again. At the door, he says he's coming out, will kill anyone he sees, and will kill anyone who shoots his wife, all his friends, and burn down his house. He approaches his horse, but no one fires at him. He mounts his horse, and as he passes by Ned's body, he declares that if they don't properly bury Ned or damage the prostitutes in any way, he will return and kill every man in town. As the credits roll, we learn that Money relocated with his children to San Francisco, where he thrived in the dry goods industry. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.